Hello everyone, welcome to the demonstration video of Taas. So let's take an example of George. He wanted a room. Mike says $300 upfront security plus $200 monthly. George says sure, why not, jumping with joy. After a year, situation is very different. So George got no profit from his own security money, and while Mike made shit ton of dollars by investing the security money. So George says, I'm leaving, can I have my security money back? Mike says, hold on, financial condition not good. George says, but I need it urgently. Mike says, you gotta wait, dude, and what about the sink you broke last month? And finally, George has nothing to say, and maybe his money is gone forever. Upon seeing various researches and studies, it is found that in the UK alone, it is 25% possibilities that the tenants don't get the security money back, and in the USA it is hopping to 59%. So yeah, it's a common problem here, and for it we have a solution called Taas, trust as a service, a solution to this spaghetti relationship between the tenant and the landlord. We transform rental deposits from frozen collateral into yield generating financial assets while automating rent via smart contracts on turn. So what happens here is the tenant and the landlord sign an agreement, and the amount is deposited by the tenant in USDT, which goes to the autonomous agents, which do the yield farming of the amount that goes to the landlord. And when the agreement ends, the security money goes back to the tenant as well as with the rewards of the yield, as well as monthly autonomous payments done by the tenant. So yeah, let's go ahead. And what are the perks and things integrated here? So the automated monthly rent payments made in USDT eliminates late payments and cross-border transfer issues. Tenants get full deposit refunded while still benefiting from yield, and it protects their money against inflation too. Landlords earn passive income from deposit yield without changing their rental habits. Trustless, transparent agreements, smart contracts enforce terms automatically, reducing disputes and eliminating intermediaries. Suppose there is a dispute, then what happens? After the term ends, a 7-day dispute claim period starts in which parties can raise disputes and submit proof. After which, a dispute resolution mechanism starts manually or done by AI, and that settles the dispute. So that's not been implemented yet, but yeah, it can be done, and it's a great thing. So what's in it for the Ton ecosystem? While Ton is dominating by meme tokens and DeFi, it still has the thing that it can be enabled with actual economic activity, rent agreements, deposit and recurring payments. So the payments that has been happening in bursts can also be enabled in continuous payments, like monthly payments by the tenants. So it provides liquidity as well as stability to Ton also. And also opens up too many gates for the Ton ecosystem, like brings insurers on chain, activates government DAOs and staking, enables Ton native lending protocols, and much more. So yeah, we are not solving a problem, using the problem to build a new use case on Ton ecosystem with USDT. So let's go ahead with our platform. So this is the platform Taas here, and there are multiple things mentioned here, such as create agreement, accept agreement, confirm deposit, claim and determined. So this agreement will be created by the landlord, which will then get accepted by the tenant, and then the amount deposited by the tenant gets confirmed by the landlord. And at the end, the landlord, whenever the agreement ends, the landlord can claim his yield into his account. And here we can view and monitor the agreements, contract info, and much more. And this is the admin panel. We will talk about it later. So yeah, let's go for the demo. here. Let me connect my wallet. Okay, and let me demo by creating a new agreement. So suppose the transaction fees and the tenant wallet address is, let's say, this. Yeah, and let's suppose the security deposit that is about to made by the tenant is 0.5 ton, and a monthly rent that is gonna be is 1 ton. So currently we are doing the payments in ton because the USDT support, due to the time issues, it was not possible. So the current amount will be in Unix, will be pasted here, and let's say the agreement is for 30 days. So I'll be signing the transaction here, confirming the transaction. So due to some issues in the code, the transfers are failing somehow, but I can assure you that these were working here 5 hours ago. I made some changes in the code, and then it started again failing. So not falling into that, let's move ahead. Here the tenant has to put this transaction fee, that is again 0.05, converting into nano, and the agreement ID that has been created by the landlord. Suppose he puts 3 here and then he signs the transaction, it goes directly signed by the tenant. And again the payments are failing, but for the demo's sake we move ahead, and then the flow goes on and the landlord confirms that he has received the payment here, and the agreement continues. And after the maturity of the agreement, here the landlord claims his rewards of the yield farm, and the tenant gets his money back. And let's come to the view and monitor panel here. Here we can see the agreements. Suppose the agreement number 3. So I was lucky enough to create 3 agreements before it started failing, but as you can see here, the deposit amount is 1 ton, rent amount is also 1 ton, and start date is this, and the term length is for 30 days. Let me show you another one. So it is something like this. Let's get back, and the amount of total agreements also can be seen by this function here, and the contract info as well. So yeah, I think there is a big huge market for this because people are suffering from it, and there is a real gap of something trustworthy such as Taas or something much even better. So yeah, hopefully you like the gist of it, and we plan to continue on it ahead. Thank you for watching.